Good morning, Pepster, and welcome back to another week of Pepster at Your Place mini version. I hope you all have had a great week, and I hope you're all having a beautiful Sabbath, either with your group or in the comfort of your own home. It is so good to have you tuning in with us again. Today, Karyn is bringing us our last installment of our New Year, New You series, and it has been such an incredible series. We have talked about so many things, had so many awesome insights to start off the year with. But today is the last installment, and next week we're going to get to reflect on the series that has been. But I hope you've been enjoying the series. I hope, like me, you have been challenged and are just ready to go into the rest of this year with a renewed passion, a refreshed fire, and be able to reset. And so I'm excited for what Karyn has to share with us. But just before she does, just another small reminder, if you would like to give, we can still do that. We are still able to do that. We can do that by the PushPay app or by just direct bank transfer, or you can come into the office. The office is open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. During the week. So if you prefer to do your tithes and offerings that way, you are more than welcome to do that. But if you'd like to do that, the details are on the screen. Please, we really do appreciate your generous giving through these still very uncertain times. But that is it from me. Without any further ado, let's see what Karyn has to share with us this morning.
Well, hello everybody. I can't believe that we are already coming to the end of our series, New Year, New You. Over the past few weeks, we've looked at just how important it is to reevaluate, to rethink, to redefine, to reconnect, to resource, to remember, to resist. And today our series ends and we look at the significance of restoring. Restore. At Papster, we talk a lot about this word. It is a part of our DNA. It is our mission to restore and reconcile people to God and each other. And the reason that it is a part of our DNA is because it is a part of God's DNA. From the very beginning of the Bible to the very end of the Bible, God is in the business of restoring and reconciling humanity back to himself. In fact, God has already accomplished a huge part of his plan. Through Jesus' life and his death here on earth, he restored and reconciled all of us. He did everything necessary to bridge the gap, to completely restore and reconcile us. That is how God views you. It's how he views me, restored. And it's really important that we try to get our heads around that reality. I am a child of God. You are a child of God. In his eyes, we are restored. And a full and intimate relationship with him is offered to every single one of us. But God also continues to restore and reconcile us. And he does that each and every day as he challenges us, as he grows and refines our character and the ways in which we live out the reality of knowing that we are also restored. It is his purpose in and through each of us to share this message. But more importantly, he wants us to live this message. In and through every relationship that we journey here on earth, he wants us to live a life that is so full of love that to restore and to reconcile becomes the first priority for us in all of our relationships. And that's not easy, I have to admit that, but that is what he asks from each of us. When I was thinking about a passage in the Bible or a story in the Bible that I could talk about that would reflect this. You know, the cold hard reality is that restoration and reconciliation plays a part for somebody in every single story. We see it in the lives of Adam and Eve, in Jacob and Esau, in Joseph and his brothers, in the story of Esther and of Ruth, in Nehemiah. We see it in Job and in Daniel and in Hosea. We see it in the lives of the disciples, in the lives of the many people who were literally healed and restored. We see it in the life of Paul and in the churches in the first century. And we see it prophesied in Revelation as our future reality. Humanity restored and reconciled as God always planned and intended for us to be. For me, one of the most beautiful descriptions of this is in the Message version of Isaiah 58. And I want us to again take a look at just some of the verses that he speaks there. It says, "The God of glory will secure your passage. When you pray, God will answer. You'll call out for help and he'll say, 'Here I am.'" It goes on to say, if you get rid of unfair practices, quit blaming victims, quit gossiping about other people's sin, if you're generous with the hungry and start giving yourselves to the down and out, your lives will begin to glow in the darkness. I will always show you where to go. I will give you a full life in the emptiest of places. Firm muscles, strong bones. You will be like a well-watered garden, a gurgling spring that never runs dry. And you will use the old rubble of past lives to build anew, rebuild the foundations from out of your past. You'll be known as those who can fix anything, restore old ruins, rebuild and renovate, make the community livable again. Church, God is always with us. He walks alongside us, he guides us, and he gives our life purpose. He gives us meaning and direction. He says it pretty plainly in this passage. In fact, he repeats it several times. He starts with the what not to do instructions. He says, get rid of unfair practices. Quit blaming other people. Own your stuff, stop gossiping, stop judging other people. Then he's got some to-dos. He says, be generous with the hungry. Give yourselves to the down and out. Clothe people, break chains, free the oppressed, forgive. And then he leaves us with a promise. He says, when you do this, when you do these things, this is what will happen. This is how you will change. This is what your life is going to look like. You will shine in the darkness. There'll be no more living in the shadows, no more living with guilt or shame. It says that we will experience a full life, an abundant life in the emptiest of places. It says that we will flourish and his spirit will always be available to us. He'll always be there working to fill us up, so much so that he will overflow into the people around us. And this is my favorite bit. You will use the old rubble of past lives. God takes the rubble of our lives, church. He takes the brokenness. He takes the mess, the dysfunction. He takes the pride and the stubbornness, and he builds something new. He rebuilds and he restores and he reconciles our lives and the lives of the people that we encounter. After the last couple of years, you might feel like the things around you are actually more shaky. You might feel like life is more unstable, more uncertain than ever before. And when life feels uncertain, when it feels pointless to try to reconcile or restore or rebuild our lives, that is the exact season when we need to choose to restore things that last, to restore things of strength, to restore things of value, things that create a legacy. When we have lived through a season where things feel broken down, we can lose the passion and the determination to give our time once more to restoration. But we need to look for opportunities to find the beauty that only comes from restoration. Restoring our relationship with God, restoring our families, restoring our soul. Please don't let the feelings of helplessness cause you to give up. We shouldn't feel ashamed or condemned in any area of our life where the foundation isn't maybe as deep as we thought it was. Instead, let's use it as an opportunity to say, I'm going to restore my life with more depth. I'm going to create a new me. I'm going to create a healthy me. I'm going to roll up my sleeves and bring restoration into this relationship. I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to restore my life on what is true. I'm going to restore my identity in Christ instead of what others say about me. I'm going to restore myself in who He says I am. God is the master of restoration, and He wants to fully restore our lives so that together our future will be fully restored.
Wow, wasn't that awesome? Thank you so much, Karyn, for again challenging us and giving us something to think about and to discuss this morning, which we are going to do right now. So the questions are going to come up on the screen. So whether you're at home or whether you are in your group right now, now it is your time to discuss what you've heard and to have a think and to reflect on our message this morning. So until next week, have a great time discussing, and we will see you then.